Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. So welcome to our Saturday morning session. And we are on our journey of Kathopanishad. Today we will take mantras from 8 onwards. So last time we talked about Atithi, how important an Atithi is. Actually, Atithi Devo Bhava, we understood why we call Atithi Devo Bhava, the importance of Atithi. Now, mantra number 8 is also related to that. And it says, Yasya Nansan Vasti Brahmano Graha. This is the last part of this, but we'll go in that order. That in whose house a Brahman is staying without food and without water, then that house is facing disaster. In any house where a Brahman comes as Atithi and he is required to stay without food and water, then the householder will have to face disaster after disaster. It says, Asha pratikse sangha sunartam cha, that all his desires, all his wait, asa and pratiksha, all his desires, all his waiting period, all his wealth, whether it is in the form of animals, because in the olden times the wealth was more in the form of animals, or in the form of his own family, they will face tremendous problem. And therefore, even if he has done lot of yajna, if he has done lot of donations, he has constructed, the water bodies, for example, we used to construct wells, or he has to constructed a garden or a, talab. All that work which he did for the good of the society would be nullified if the Atithi is not looked after properly. So this is what they call the negative consequences of not looking after an Atithi. Now you would have noticed that in the Upanishad also, there was an indirect reference to this, that if you are, trying to attain the worldly pleasures, and if you fail to perform the yajna in a proper way, then the negative consequences can follow. Similarly here, in the context of Nachiketa coming to Yam's place and waiting for 3 days and 3 nights without food and water, then these consequences have been mentioned here. Now this, is and was relevant in ancient time, particularly because a person comes to your home with expectations. His expectations are demolished if he is not looked after well. Then it also reflects on your attitude towards another human being. That is, negative attitude is also not good. Then it reflects on your, what you call conduct of respect for others. So all these negative activities will become part of your karma, and those karmas will destroy the good actions you had taken in the past, and your family will fail or will face disastrous consequences. So it says that we must look after an Atithi very well. And Atithi, we understood very clearly, it is not the known people to you who come as your guests to stay with you, but these are those, sadhu and sant, those sages who come to your place with some expectations, and they come asking your help, and those people should be looked after well. That is what it means. And most of these atithis, they come unexpected without any notice. The meaning of atithi is also the same in Sanskrit, that they don't give a tithi. They come to your place without giving a tithi, that they don't tell you what time they are coming, when they are coming, and they just come, they drop in. And that is where the atithi satkar happens and begins. So this verse is very important, particularly if we disrespect a sage who comes unexpectedly in our house, and expect some food, water, and respect in the house. So this is very, very important. Now, the mantra number 9 is basically the Yamraj realizes all these consequences. And the commentators also mention that this was brought to Yamraj's notice by his wife. That this is, Nachiketa had come, he was suffering for 3 days and 3 nights, and he's Brahman, he's Brahmacharya, because he was a child in any case, and we failed to look after him, and therefore these consequences can happen. So what should we do? So now Yamraj, realizing all this, he tells him, Tistro ratriya yavad garsi grahe me ansan, that for 3 nights and 3 days you stayed in my house without food. Ansan is without food and without water. Like, Mahatma Gandhi used to do ansan, that is without food and without water. And namastestu brahman swasti mestu, that you are a respected Brahman, you are a respected brahmachari, and we disregarded you. And therefore, tasmat priti trin varan vrashins. And because of that reason, I would request you to accept 3 boons. So because you suffered in my place for 3 days and 3 nights without food and water, and you are a respected Brahman, and you are a brahmachari, and we did not look after you well, therefore I would request you to accept 3 boons. Whatever boons you like, please accept those boons. So this is where Yamraj offers a sort of compensation to Nachiketa for the distress suffered by him for 3 days and 3 nights. Now the real Upanishad starts, because now Nachiketa will ask his boons, and these boons have been asked in a very systematic way. Though he was only 6-7 years of age, Nachiketa, but obviously he was very advanced spiritually, and therefore the way he is asking his boons displays his ability, his character, and also his advancement in spiritual knowledge. So let us go by one. So the first boon he is asking Shant Sankalp Sumna. Shant Sankalp Sumna. Yatha Swadit Mrityur Gotamo Mabhi Mrityu. That who, he Mrityu ke devta, who god of death, O god of death, my father, that is Gotham once, that is the reference to the, you know, the ancestors of that, of his family. That is Vansavali, as we call it. It is the lineage. So the lineage of Gotham once, my father Udalak. Now, the first, the first boon he's asking for his father, because he realized that his father was angry. He asked him to go to the god of death, and he said that I will give it you to the god of death. And therefore, he felt that he was angry and he should be made happy, he should be pacified. So his first word is shant, that my father should be pacified, he should be happy. Sumna is happy, he should be very happy. And all his anger should disappear. He should become without any anger. So this is the first, sentence he is uttering. Despite the fact that he was scolded by his father, he first thought was for the well-being of his own father. So respect to the parents is extremely important. It has been important in our Shastras ever since, we know our Shastras. It is from the very beginning. Because our existence in this world became possible because of our parents. If our parents were not there, we would not be in existence in the world today. Though we do not realize it, we take it for granted. But the parents are the means, or they are the channel through which we were sent to this universe, to this world. And therefore, Mata Pita, the mother and father, and the third one is the teacher. They are highly respected in our society traditionally. Of course, the things are changing now. There are a lot of children who do not respect their parents, who do not obey their parents. But I remember my childhood. Actually, we used to respect our parents. I was very scared of my father, and I'm sure many of us did. The father was the one who was disciplining the society, the family, and the mother was showing the love, respect, care. So this is how the family used to run. Of course, a lot of change has taken place since then. The time is flowing, the lot of water has flown under the bridge, but the basic value of respecting the parents remains. So Nachiketa was highly respectful of his father, and that is why the first thought in his mind was to pacify and to make him happy. That is what he's mentioning here. And then he says that whenever I am sent back, here he was a little bit clever. He says that I'm not, he implied that I'm not come to the abode of Yamraj forever. I should go back. So he says, whenever I go back, the father should be able to recognize me, receive me with love and affection, and he should, give me the same treatment as he gave me before I came to your abode. So here, he implied the second thing, that Yam Devta, don't keep me forever. Also send me back and I can meet my father. Now, when a person has died and he goes back to the family, nobody will believe him that he's come back. Some people say, the bhoot aa gaya. We do not believe that. Even if Lord Krishna comes back on earth today, nobody will believe that he's Lord Krishna. That people will actually treat him with disrespect, that he's pretending to be so. So that is why Nachiketa was very particular. He says, if I go back from the, uh, you know, from the what you call the gate of death, to back to my father, to my family, nobody will believe that I'm back, and therefore they should be able to recognize me that I am back, and they should give me the same treatment as I was getting before I came to the abode of Yamraj. So this is very fascinating. So the first thing in his mind is the normal life in family should return back, and the family should remain united, should remain happy, and should respect each other. This is what the first boon he asked. So this is very, we can say it is the foundational boon, the first one. Once you have asked for your happiness in your family here, what do you desire? You desire something better. Like, just now people were talking about, snow covered mountains. People go there to see the mountains. Some people go to seashores. Some people go to some green areas in forest. Why? Because they think that those are, nice places where they can enjoy. So once you have settled for the well-being of your family here in your home, then you look for something higher. And that is what Nachiketa is going to ask in the second boon. Now, this is very interesting discussion that will happen now. Yatha purstat bhavita pratit. Yeah, no, but before the second boon, actually, Yamraj is accepting what he says. He is immediately giving him that boon which he asked in the mantra number 10. So he says that uh, Aruni, that is your father, will have this, will have absolute peace. He will be happy, and he will treat you in the same way as he treated you before you came to my abode. And all his anger will disappear. So the words which have been used here is Vitmanyu. Vitmanyu means to have total elimination of anger. Anger goes away completely. That is Vitmanyu. And then there's another word here, Mrityu Mukhat, that you will be free from the mouth of death. You will be free. So this is, Yamraj agreed to that you are not going to stay in my abode forever. So you will be free from mrityu mukhat, mukh of mrityu. Mrityu ke mukh se free ho jaoge. And as soon as you go back, Aruni is reference to his father. As soon as you go, mat pratashtha, Aruni, when you go back to your father, he will treat you as he treated earlier before you came to my abode. So he immediately accepts the boon, and he tells him that for the rest of your life, you and father will sleep sukham saita, will sleep with all the happiness, with all the sukh, all the remaining part of your life. So this is settled. This issue is now settled, that his family will be happy, and his, he will return back to the family, and all that part is settled. Now, the interesting boon the description of the next boon starts. Now, then, the secret of the next boon is that he is not asking this boon for himself, but he is asking the knowledge to acquire to reach that place. His reference is Swarge loke na bhayam kinchta nasti na tatra tvam na jarya vibheti. He is saying that I have heard that there's a place called Swarg where bhayam, there's no bhay, no fear of any nature. Kinch nasti, of any nature. There's no fear of any nature at all. And Jariya Vibheti, where there is no, Jariya is the old age. There's no old age. You don't, face the old age at all there. So in that is the place where there is no fear of any nature. There is no old age. And Ubhe Tit Varsapan Yapi Pase. So Soka Gito Modate Swarg Loke. That in that place there is no bhook and pyas, there is no thirst and no hunger. So, we are looking for a place which is better than what we are. Like we were talking about mountains. Now, if you add to that a boat, you go to beautiful mountains or a wonderful seashore, and you add to that there's no fear of any nature. There's no fear of old age. You don't feel hungry and thirsty. Obviously, if you don't feel hungry and thirsty, you don't have to discard the waste from the body. And you live without any shock. Isme shoka triko modte. You are all the time happy and there is no shock of any nature. So these are the qualities I was told that are in existence in Swarg. Swarg has all these qualities. He's just describing it. He's not saying that I want this, but he's telling that this place, Swarg, is better than my house, where I would be living, where I'm living. So he's obviously aspiring or thinking about Swarg. He's not aspiring, but he's thinking about Swarg, that this is the place which he heard. There is no, old age. There is no fear of any nature. There is no thirst and no hunger. And consequently, there is no need to discharge any waste. And there is all the time modte, that is all the time happiness, and no shock. There's no, any distress of any nature in that place. And then he says, so he's just describing, this is how the Swarg has been described by him. Now, this is, in our Shastra, there are many lokas. There are 14 lokas. There are 7 lokas below earth. Below earth means not in terms of location. Those are more miserable than the life on earth. And there are lokas which are better, more happy in terms of living conditions in life, there. So this Swarga is like, some people aspiring to go and live in mountains, some people aspiring and to go live in America. Okay, America, I'll get this comfort, that comfort. But Swarg Lok is beyond that, because there these things you will not find anywhere on the earth. That there's no jara, there's no old age, there's no hunger, there's no thirst, there is no fear. That is not possible on the earth. Wherever you go on the earth, you will have these phenomena. These are the realities of our life on the earth. But he's describing that there's a place called Swarga, I heard, and these things exist there. And now in mantra number 13, he's asking that, can you give me that? Can you give me that knowledge to reach there? Not give me that, but the knowledge to reach there. So it says, Mratyo Setvam Swargyam Agrima Hey Mrityudev, hey God of death, you can teach me the knowledge. It is called Agni Vidya. The reference is Agni Vidya. That Agni Vidya, you can teach me that knowledge, which can enable me to reach there. He's not saying that I should go there. He's saying which can enable me to reach there. Adhyasi, that you know all that because you are the, respected god of death. Hmm? Now there's another word here, Prabhuhi. Prabhuhi means that you explain to me properly. You know it very well. And can you explain to me that properly? Eh? And I am requesting you with all my respect, all my desire, all my earnest will, that kindly explain me the uh, the method through which I can reach there. The word here is Swargloka Amritam Amritatvam Bhajant Edat Ditiyen Varne Varen. Varne Varen. This is my second boon. Second var. I am asking this second boon, that kindly explain to me the knowledge, the Agni Vidya. The name is given here is Agni Vidya, through which I can reach or I can understand how to reach the Swarglok. Now, this is what he is asking in second. So he is systematically, he made sure that the life on the earth is good, family is secured, everybody is happy, and he returns back to the family. And then in the second one, let us upgrade, at least try to learn the knowledge how to upgrade ourselves and reach the Swarglok. Now, this is a desire of each one of us. Each one of us want to make our life more comfortable. We all want to live longer. We take food, we take medicines, to exercise, we try to prolong our life, and we feel that we should not face the old age. We all try that. It doesn't happen, but we all try that. This is our innate desire. This is a desire that I should not fall sick, so we try to keep ourselves healthy. And we try to reduce our fears. We should not have fears, so we minimize the fears. The elements which add to our fear, we tackle them properly. Then we can't get rid of, hunger and thirst, but still the medical science is trying to invent certain things that, once you take one tablet, maybe for a week, you don't feel hunger and you don't feel thirst. So those things are also being tried on this earth. So we all desire these kind of things. This is the innate desire of human being to better his life through these processes. And this is the concept which Nachiketa is saying, that I've heard that these things exist in Swarg, and therefore can you teach me the knowledge, can you give me that Agni Vidya through which I can reach there. So this is a very clever boon he is asking from, the god of death. So imagine the kind of knowledge. Obviously, his sanskars were very good. He was born with some innate abilities. He was born with the spiritual inclination. Maybe in the last birth, he did some very good things. And that is why he said, this is my second boon. Can you give it to me? Now, the verse number 14, the mantra number 14. Prate ब्रवीमि तदुते निबोध स्वर्ग्यम मिंग नचिकेत प्रजानन अनंत लोकाप्ति तमो प्रतिष्ठाम विधि त्वमेतम नीतम गुह्याम. हे नचिकेता, हे नचिकेता, ओ नचिकेता. It is true that I know the Agni Vidya. Swargyam Agni, that is Agni Vidya, Swargdaini knowledge, Swargdaini Vidya, knowledge. I know that. And I will tell you Prabodhini. Nibodh means to explain it in proper way. Hmm? So I will explain you all that knowledge which can, take you to the Swarglok. Tat u me nibodh. I will, you understand, you try to understand that knowledge which I am going to tell you. Hmm? So this is what he is saying, that once you acquire that knowledge, then you will be uh, absolutely in a position to establish yourself in Swarglok. You will be able to reach there and you will be able to live there. Pratishtha means you will be able to establish yourself in that lok. And this knowledge is located in the wisdom of the wise people. The sages have this knowledge. Not everybody has this knowledge, only some sages have this knowledge. So he is telling them, telling Nachiketa, that I know this knowledge, I know this Agni Vidya, and I will explain that to you in proper way, and you should try to understand it. And once you understand it, you would be able to reach the Swarglok and establish yourself there. And he also mentioned that this knowledge is not easily available. It is available only with the sages, and they contain it in their heart because they have experienced it. So now we would like to know such knowledge, isn't it? We would be keen to go to Swarglok and experience that wonderful life. But unfortunately, the Upanishad does not describe that knowledge. It only says that this knowledge was given to Nachiketa. It does not give that knowledge in detail. Only some small part is mentioned. But this is why it is not given. Because this Upanishad does not talk about material comforts. Upanishad is talking about the the final liberation called moksha. So it will skip that part. It is not talking about the Swarglok, how to reach there, how to, acquire that knowledge. But this was also explained briefly in Bhagavad Gita. And I'll go back there. Indirectly, it is in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita. And let me go to those verses. This is verse number 9, 10, rather 10. It says that प्रजापति ब्रह्मा ने कल्प के आदि में जब सब लोगों को रचा, उसके बाद he told everybody that all the devtas who are here, who are all the powers which are functioning in this world, they can collaborate with all the life forces, all the humans, and they can acquire those comforts for each other. Now this says here, प्रजापति ब्रह्मा ने कल्प के आदि में यज्ञ सहित प्रजाओं को रचकर उनसे कहा कि तुम लोग इस यज्ञ के द्वारा वृद्धि को प्राप्त हो, और ये यज्ञ तुम लोगों को इच्छित भोग प्रदान करने वाला हो. Now this is the reference to the yajnas. Yajnas done for certain purposes. Yajnas done for betterment of life. Yajnas done for certain natural forces to enable you certain facilities in this world. So it is true that by using certain karm kand, by using certain rituals, one can acquire these special facilities and more comforts for his own life. That is possible. So this is what mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, and this is what is mentioned in this Upanishad here, though they do not give the complete details. Now, here I'll also go to the verse number 11 of chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, which says, तुम लोग इस यज्ञ द्वारा देवताओं को उन्नत करो एंड देवता तुमको उन्नत करें, दैट you prosper each other with each other. They help you and you help them. And then you are able to obtain more physical comforts for your living in this world. And this is what we are doing. For example, now we have invented electricity. Now electricity is a sort of devta. Now devta is helping us in running so many equipment with electricity. And that electricity is making our life more comfortable. So this is a sort of, mutually happy situation where electricity is helping you and you are getting comforts out of it. This is happening in other fields also. Like you go to a beautiful park in the nature, you go to the forest. Now that is you can call it the devta of forest. And that forest you enjoy, it gives you beauty, it gives you happiness. And in return, you look after the forest, they look after each other. So basically, the devtas are those forces which are designed to regulate the nature. Like sun, for example, sun god. Now, sun god is sitting how many? It's approximately 15 million, that is 1.5 crore kilometers. 1.5 crore kilometers away from Earth. And it regulates our life. With rise of the sun, we get up. Because of the sun, the water cycle works, the rains come, the clouds form, and because of the rain, the snow comes, the rivers come, all this water cycle, the clouds and the rain and the snow and the rivers and all these water bodies which are formed, all because of that. The fertility of earth comes from the sun. The sun is how far? 1.5 crore kilometers away. And the fertility of earth comes from the sun. If there's in places where there's no sun, the earth is not fertile at all. You go to the North Pole and South Pole, you can't grow anything at all. Not possible. The fertility comes from there. The entire photosynthesis process runs because of that. In our own body, the entire digestive process is running because of the sun energy. It's called Agni. So that is Agni Devta. In a way, the sun is the most visible form of Agni. It is fire god. And this is what the reference to fire god is in this mantra here. That the fire god enables you to reach the Swarglok, the fire vidya, fire knowledge. Now, what is that knowledge? We can perceive that knowledge little bit with the experience of sun. Now, sun is also being used as solar energy. You can use that energy for your, lighting the house, for cooking your food, for eating your water, and for whatever purpose you want to use. Now, this is what we call, taking help from yajnas, taking help from the divine powers for our well-being. So this is what this mantra is saying here, that if I know this Vidya, I know the Agni Vidya, and I'll tell you the Agni Vidya, and once you are able to learn that Agni Vidya, you will be able to reach the Swarglok, which gives you all these comforts which you are describing, and you will be able to live a very satisfied, happy life. The only problem in Swarglok is one, and that is that once your karmas expire, because you cannot do more karma there, the karmas are not possible. You reach Swargalok because of the good karmas you have done here. And once those karmas exhaust, you come back to the earth. So you go to a 7-star hotel and you go back to the 1-star hotel finally on this earth. You come back here. So you feel that, what you call a shock at the end. There in Swarg, as long as you are there, you have no fear, no hunger, no thirst, no, distress of any nature, no old age, but ultimately you can't live there forever. You have to come back to the earth. And once you come back to the earth, it would be a big shock, big distress for you. And that is the problem with the Swarglok. From Swarglok, you cannot acquire moksha. For acquiring moksha, you have to come back to the earth because you have to perform karma. Karmas can be done only on the earth and only in the human form. That is the limitation we have. Other species of life cannot do karma. They are called bhog yoni. There you are only, uh, suffering because of the karmas you must have done in the past in human life. So this privilege of doing karma is only to human beings. And because of this privilege, you can go to the Swarg, but then you will have to come back. So there's a desire in our heart for each one of us to go to the Swarg. But we also should realize that even if we reach there, ultimately we'll have to come back on the earth, from where we can aspire to attain the final liberation or moksha. So this is how this whole structure is all about. So we will go into the next in the next session we'll go on the other mantras. So thank you very much. Now the Upanishad is becoming more and more interesting.